All right, what is good, everybody? We are live on the NBA draft live stream. Hold on, I gotta change something right here real quick. Just give me a second. Boom. All right, so there you can see on the bottom left or right, whatever it is, you're getting the feed. So this is what I'm watching. So if you guys want to be there with me and watch at the same time, because I'm watching like on streaming, so I'm usually a little behind like cable. There it is. There's the reference point, or right over here. Everything's mirrored. I'm trying to figure this out. But there's the man, Adam Silver. I got to tell you guys, I'm so excited for this draft. And it's interesting because there's not like a ton of talent in the draft. It's, you know, the experts say it's one of the worst drafts that we've seen in a while. Mainly because I think there's a lot of question marks. Not just with the players in the draft, but the teams and where they're selecting. You got the Timberwolves, who obviously have a ton of talent, but have never seemed to live up to expectations. So who are they going to take in the draft? And the players in this draft for the Timberwolves aren't the best fit as well. You have James Wiseman, but they already have Karl-Anthony Towns. You have LaMelo Ball. He has huge question marks, which we'll get into in a little bit. But also you have D'Angelo Russell, who's not good defensively. So do you want to pair him with LaMelo Ball, who also wants the ball a lot? No pun intended. There's a lot of question marks. Should they take Anthony Edwards? Is that a good culture for Edwards to fit in Minnesota? Like I said, there's a bunch of stuff going on. Then you have the Golden State Warriors sitting here. Breaking news, Klay Thompson just re-injured one of his legs. I believe it's the same leg, if I'm not mistaken, but there's not a whole lot of information. They don't know the severity of the injury. He will be going through more tests, but honestly, it doesn't sound good. So how does that affect the Warriors draft? Do they go ahead and draft another wing? I don't think so. I don't think that injury is going to change what they were going to do in this draft. And then you have Charlotte, who really wants Wiseman, but they're scared that Golden State or maybe even Minnesota would take them. So will Charlotte move up in the draft to get their guy? Who knows? A report just came out that Michael Jordan was down to draft LaMelo Ball. So there's a lot of fun stuff going on here. But I have a question for you guys. Josiah, if you could help me out. Josiah is our moderator for the chat. He's asking me which jersey I'm wearing. This is the Jordan rookie jersey from Mitchell & Ness, the authentic one. Josiah, let me know if you can hear actually what the draft is. Can you hear the audio? Because I want to be able to hear it, but I can't play it, obviously. All right, so let me know if you guys can hear the draft channel. But anyways, I think for the Warriors, there's two clear-cut guys. And I don't think they should trade out of the pick either. A lot of people are saying that because I don't think the pick... Okay, good. No audio. I don't think the pick is strong enough to get a superstar like a Bradley Beal. I'm not saying that that was in the works or they should do that. I'm just saying a guy of that stature, right? I don't think the number 2 pick in this year's draft is that good. So that's off the table. Don't trade down in the draft as well because, you know, why would you do that when you could get a higher draft pick, a more talented guy on paper? This is a rare opportunity. A team like the Warriors, who have basically 3 all-stars, they could add a young guy to not only contribute now, but to add to their longevity, their dynasty, right? Their dominance, which they've shown in the past. It's going to be a very different team from what we've seen, obviously, because no KD and, you know, all of that. And they don't really have, like, vets anymore. They have a bunch of, like, young guys like Damian Lee, Jordan Poole, Eric Pascal, who I really like. But, you know, I'm really interested to see what the Warriors can do. I think they should keep the pick, and it's down to 2 guys. I think it's down to Wiseman or LaMelo Ball. I really do think that. I don't think they should draft Edwards. They have Wiggins. That's going to be a hard contract to move. If you draft Edwards and you want to get rid of Wiggins, I don't know if those 2 guys could play with each other with Klay and Draymond. You're looking at a 5-guy lineup of Steph, Klay, Edwards, Wiggins, and Draymond. Is that good enough? I don't know. Can Edwards play the 4 spot? I don't think so. He's more of a 2 and a 3, right, guys? So I think the Warriors should go ahead and draft Wiseman because it fills a need for them. And I think Wiseman will look really good on the Warriors, right? He's playing with playmakers, Steph Curry making plays for him, Klay spacing out the floor, Draymond doing that short roll and lobbing it up like we've seen Draymond do with JaVale McGee, Andrew Bogut, Marquise Chris. I mean, James Wiseman now might be better than all of those guys on their best day with the Warriors. So just imagine that. And let's say the Warriors draft Wiseman and he looks great with them. That increases his value and they could move him for a bigger piece. They could say, hey, look, this guy's great. He's the next Chris Bosh or Dwight Howard or whatever. And they could move him to get a bigger star. Like, that's the move. But if LaMelo Ball is sitting there at number 1, whether Wiseman is there or not, if LaMelo is there, or excuse me, at number 2, if LaMelo is sitting there at number 2, I think the Warriors should pull the trigger on that. I really do, because I think LaMelo is the most talented player in this draft, but he's also the highest risk player in this draft because a lot of things have to go right for him. A lot of things do. And I think the Warriors environment, that culture, it's the perfect recipe for him to succeed. And if he doesn't succeed in that environment, then it wasn't on the Warriors. It was actually on LaMelo, and then we'll know. But I think the best situation for him to learn from pros, just being in a locker room with pros. Draymond's not going to let LaMelo get away with all that. Steph is gonna teach him everything he knows. Steph is one of the greatest teammates in the league. Klay, everybody loves Klay. Klay is everybody's favorite teammate. I think players on different teams love Klay as a teammate. They're not even his teammates. So Steve Kerr, Bob Myers, that ownership, the city, I just think it's perfect for LaMelo. So if LaMelo's sitting there at number 2, regardless of who else is on the board, the Warriors should pull the trigger. I really do believe that. Could you imagine him coming in off the bench, being like a Lou Will backup point guard situation? Hey, do this, run that. We got great sets for you. We got great freelance offense for you. It's a system. I think it'll be absolutely fantastic. I really do. But what do you guys think? Do you think LaMelo Ball is going to go number 1? Do you think the Warriors should get him if he's sitting at number 2? And if you don't think he's going to be the first 2 picks, how far do you think he's going to drop? Is Charlotte going to pick him up? I think if you were to ask me 3 days ago, if LaMelo's sitting at number 3, should Charlotte pick him up? I would say no, I don't think they're going to. The whole thing with LeVar, Jordan, it just didn't seem like a good fit. And plus, Charlotte's got great guards, right? Rozier and Devontae Graham. They don't really need another one. But with this report that Jordan is down to draft LaMelo Ball, I think they go ahead and pull the trigger. I think Mitch Kupchak went up to him and said, hey, I think he's really good. If he's sitting at number 3, I think we should take them. And Jordan said, okay, you got the green light. We know Jordan doesn't have the greatest draft history, but we'll get into that when Charlotte's coming up. Right now, the Minnesota Timberwolves are on the clock. Josiah says LaMelo should go to a different team altogether. The Warriors are probably a decent choice, but the Timberwolves are pretty decent as is. They have D'Lo and Cat who have good chemistry. Yeah, but I'm worried about the fit. We know there's a culture problem in Minnesota. We know this. Ask Jimmy Butler, who, by the way, just went to the NBA Finals with probably maybe not a less talented team, but not as many blue chippers on that team. Or I don't know, actually. That Timberwolves team with Jimmy was pretty talented. They had Cat. They had Wiggins. So, you know, without a guy like Cat, Jimmy made it to the finals, where the Minnesota Timberwolves didn't even make the playoffs. So let's see what the Timberwolves are going to do here with the first pick. I'm so excited. Bro! They picked... Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Okay, so obviously shades of Andrew Wiggins in Minnesota. This is a wing player. I think he's good, but like I said earlier, we know there's a culture problem in Minnesota. Is this the right environment for Anthony Edwards to thrive? And while you could say that for any of these guys that they would have drafted, Wiseman, Melo, Edwards, whoever it may be, you know, Edwards is a guy who is a little bit more raw, like talent, natural ability, like not natural ability, but just like athleticism than he is like skill and like natural, intuition. He's right here. They're giving him the player comp of Dominique Wilkins. He's obviously a lot smaller than Dominique Wilkins. Dominique was a big guy. He was like 6'8". I think Edwards is 6'6", maybe 6'5", maybe 6. I think around that area. But wow. I should have known Minnesota was going to do something like this. Here's the thing. If Charlotte really wants Wiseman, which reports have been coming out that Charlotte wanted Wiseman the whole time, why couldn't the Timberwolves trade with Charlotte, swap picks? The Timberwolves could get a little something extra back as well for giving up the number 1 overall pick, and draft Edwards at number 3, because I don't think the Warriors were going to draft Edwards. Do you understand what I'm saying? So the Wolves could have gone down to number 3 to give Charlotte Wiseman. The Warriors pick whoever they're going to pick. I don't think it was Edwards. And then they pick Edwards. I mean, obviously it's a risk, but I guess they wanted their guy and they got it. I mean, a trade could still happen, most definitely. But, wow. I mean, to me, it was up to... To me, they should have done something different. I don't think they have enough young guys out there in Minnesota. They do. Jarrett Culver. They have Cat and D'Lo. You need to bring in some stabilization with the veteran there. But, they did what they did. What do you guys think about this pick? Because if I had to grade this pick, I'm giving it like a C+, because he is a talented guy. I think he could be a good NBA player. But I don't understand the fit. I don't understand why they could have moved some things. They could have moved some things and they could have got more. They could have got, $1 for the 50-cent draft pick. You know what I mean? Let's see. Sharp is saying LaMelo's going to Golden State. Sharp is giving it a B. Pablo says nice. Hustle says Melo to Golden State. Hunter thinks Wiseman is going to Golden State. Yeah, I think... So, let's talk about the Warriors. Who are they going to pick? I think if they pick Wiseman or Melo, it's great. Either way, I really do. I think whoever they pick is going to be great. But I think they should pick Melo. I really do. If I was in charge of the Warriors, I'm picking LaMelo Ball right now. I am. Because I just think... he could be very special. And you could play Steph, Clay, and LaMelo all at one time. You could play... And also, at the center position, I know they have a hole, right? We all know this. The Warriors have a hole, and they've always lacked athleticism, like raw athleticism. Marquise Chris kind of gave that to them, but he's not like one of the 25 most athletic guys in the league. That's why Aaron Gordon has always been kind of on the Warriors' radar, because they need athleticism. So Wiseman fills that hole, but you can replace center production fairly easily in this league. We just saw the Lakers win with JaVale McGee and Dwight Howard, and they weren't even playing those guys in the final games of the NBA Finals. So you can get center production. You can't get wing and guard production as easy as the center position. You can't. So if you don't draft Wiseman, that's fine. You could go get somebody else. You can get, let's take a look here. Who are some center free agents NBA? Let's take a look here. Of course, I gotta add the window again. It's ridiculous. Okay, here we go. Center free agents. Hassan Whiteside, Marc Gasol, Tristan Thompson, Biyombo, Jan Mahimi, Plumlee, Olynyk, Leonard, Baines, Cantor, Robin Lopez, Jakob Poeltl, Thonmaker, Willie Cauley-Stein, Nerlens Noel. Pick any of these guys. You know what I mean? They could come in and they could fill a need. And we know the Warriors, they don't play center that often anyway. So it's not a big deal that, they're not going to draft Wiseman. But I do think it's going to be a good play. Hop Hayes says, Woj says Wiseman. So I guess it's going to end up being Wiseman. Which, again, is a good pick. It's a good pick. Sheldon saying LaMelo is not a good shooter. Yeah, I think he shoots... I think his mechanics need some refining. And if he's with the Warriors, that will happen. Being around Steph and Clay, just watching those guys shoot, I'm telling you, I'm telling you guys, it'll figure itself out. And that's why I would pick LaMelo Ball. But apparently, Woj is saying Wiseman. Josiah says Wiseman probably won't start. I would start him, Josiah. I would start him because I want to get him out there with as many good players as I can to help him create opportunities for him to succeed, right? If he's coming off the bench and he's not playing with Steph, what's the point? I know you could still do it. Shout out to Christian for subscribing. I know you could still do it, but I just have him starting. So the pressure's off him even more. I know that sounds weird. There's less pressure if he's starting. Yeah, because he's playing with Steph, Clay, Draymond, all the starters. I think I would start him. Josiah says if he's going to start, he should play the 4. I don't know about that. I mean, Draymond got the 4. You put Wiseman at the 5. You got Wiggins, Clay when he's healthy, and Steph. That's pretty good. I really like that lineup. But I just think if they added LaMelo off the bench, that would be incredible. And it would give them backcourt depth that is relentless. I mean, if LaMelo Ball, if they could teach him how to run an offense, they're going to be a well-oiled machine the entire 48 minutes throughout the course of the game. And defenses are really going to have to find not just good, but great perimeter defense to counter that. And that's something that is at a premium right now in the league, and it's something that the Warriors should jump on the opportunity to obtain. I really do believe that. Kyle says, everybody forgot about Edwards. I don't think they forgot about Edwards. I just think Wiseman and LaMelo are more intriguing. Like, Edwards, he has a question mark of being, well, does he have enough skill to, like, survive in the league? Or is he just going to be another Josh Jackson? Josh Jackson was a top 3 pick or top 5 pick, and similar, right? Very athletic, attacks the rim, runs the floor very nicely, is physically mature, but we don't know. Let's see what the Warriors are going to do here. Okay, they selected James Wiseman. Check out James. He looks like he was holding his breath for months. He looks happy out there in Nashville, Tennessee. Right there with Penny Hardaway. He's there with Penny Hardaway. That's great. Wow. Okay, so the Warriors drafted James Wiseman. This is a good pick. I mean, honestly, if I had to grade this pick, I'm giving it a B+. I really am. I don't think there's any A picks in this draft. That's the thing. If they pick LaMelo Ball, I would still give them a B+. It was really a win-win situation for the Warriors here. James Wiseman, he gives me shades of Chris Bosh. Maybe not as skilled offensively and a little more raw on that end of the floor, but just the frame, the touch, the way he runs the floor, his jump shot, it's good. So that's the good news. He does have some good shooting mechanics, so he can maybe shoot 2-3 3-pointers a game, right? Just to keep the defense on their toes. But I think the Warriors are going to set him up in an opportunity to really get as many clean looks around the rim as they can. And with the space that the Warriors can produce, he's going to get a lot of clean looks. Josiah saying, bro, imagine if LaMelo didn't make the top 3. Yeah, that would be crazy. And I think he would actually end up going to the Chicago Bulls if he falls out of the top 3 at number 4. I really do think that. But I think Charlotte, with that report of Michael Jordan accepting that situation, I think he's going to end up in Charlotte, which is going to be an interesting fit. But we'll wait and see what happens here. Kyle says Charlotte can pick Avdia. That's a hard name to say. Yeah, Avdia is a guy that was projected to be in the top 5. The Chicago Bulls in a lot of mock drafts were predicted to select him. But here you can see Wiseman really, really getting emotional. It's always great to see these moments. I mean, I can't even imagine what it would feel like to get drafted. Not just drafted, but drafted by the Golden State Warriors, a team that has dominated the past 5 years, a team that is projected to make the playoffs this season. And you're a top 2, you're a second overall pick, and you're projected to make the playoffs and compete in the playoffs. But here we're seeing the highlights. You can see he's got good touch, decent footwork. He's a lefty, which is very rare. That's why he reminds me of Chris Bosh mainly, because he's a lefty center. But look, right there, he ran the floor extremely well, and he's athletic. My question is, with him, is he going to get punked down there? Because you can see that his frame is a little slight. Now, he's physically mature for a guy his age, but he's slight. Is he going to be able to bang with a guy like Jokic? You know what I mean? Or Yusuf Nurkic? That's going to be the question. But the good news for him is there's not a whole lot of big boys like that in the league anymore. The league is definitely getting smaller, so that's good news for him. But I'm excited to watch him out here in the Bay. It's going to be a lot of fun. So the Warriors definitely made a good pick here. Med says perfect D for Golden State. Yeah, I think, it gives them great rim protection, something that they were lacking. Even with Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant was a great rim protector, but at the end of the day, Kevin Durant, he likes to sit around the three-point line, right? So he's usually guarding, other wing players. Kevin Durant isn't really banging with the big boys down low. And Wiseman gives them an opportunity to have a guy like that. So it's pretty good. I can't wait to see him catching lobs from Draymond on that short pick and roll where Steph brings out two guys. Draymond slips the pick, and he's just lobbing it up with that little one-handed, floater pass. It's going to be a lot of fun. David's asking, who does Chicago pick? Well, I think Chicago right now is praying that LaMelo falls to them. I really do, because big market, think you look great in a Chicago uniform. Everybody looks great in the Chicago uniform. I look great in a Chicago uniform. I just think they're hoping for that. I really do. I think it gives them a ton of talent. I think, I know they have Zach LaVine and Kobe White, but, I just think they want a star like that. They just want a star. And I think after LaMelo, Wiseman, and even Edwards, maybe Edwards was kind of the border, there are no potential stars in this draft that we know of yet. But again, there's always guys in the draft that get drafted late, right? Like Donovan Mitchell, and they clearly become, within the first 3 months of the season, we're like, oh my God, we should have took that guy top 3. Like, really? So there's always a guy like that. Who that guy is in this draft, you're just going to have to wait and see, because I think I know of a guy. But here's Charlotte's pick. Let's see what they do. Okay. So they pick LaMelo Ball. Here he is. Is LeVar happy? I can't tell with the mask. He looked maybe a little upset. LeVar is pure comedy, man. LeVar is pure comedy. There's a lot of people at the Ball estate right there. There's Jermaine Jackson, former NBA player. Where's Lonzo? I see Jello in the back there. Poor Jello has not gotten drafted, but his two brothers did. Man, he'll never hear the end of that, right? Jello will never hear the end of it. The only Ball brother that didn't get drafted. Jello is going to be playing some pickup or some rec league or some summer league or the what is that league in LA? The Drew League. He'll be in some league like that, right? The summer basketball tournament. And someone's going to talk trash to him and say, well, at least your other brothers got drafted, and he's going to lose it. He's going to lose it. But anyways, LaMelo Ball, Charlotte Hornets. They got some things to figure out. Will they move Terry Rozier? Maybe a contender can use Terry Rozier. Are they going to, free up space for LaMelo Ball? Who knows? The question with this pick is Charlotte's player development good enough to get this kid on the right track? Because like I said earlier, LaMelo needs a lot of things to go right for him. Now, the good news is Charlotte last season surprised a lot of people. They really did. And the coach, I'm blanking on his name. Boyega, I think is his name. He's done very good job, especially with their guards. We saw the, not the resurgence, but the surfacing of Devontae Graham, who was fantastic for them last season. So if you pair him with LaMelo Ball, I think that's good. I think they should move Terry Rozier just to free up space and playing time for this kid. Because one thing about LaMelo Ball is he's going to need reps. He's really going to need reps. So I think Charlotte got one of the best players in this draft, but they're going to need to do some work to get this kid on the right track. I really do think that. Sharp is mentioning that LaMelo is with Puma. I thought that was a good signing. Good on Puma for getting LaMelo. It's also interesting to say that, Charlotte isn't a big market. So for a star like Melo, can they A, retain him, and B, can he really shine as bright as he can in that small market? That's also a question mark. And that's always a battle with these small market teams. But, it is what it is. But look at this. LeVar Ball played in Charlotte for the Panthers. What? And Jay Williams just said wasn't LeVar the guy who said he could beat Michael Jordan in a game of one-on-one? Oh my God, basketball gods, please. I want LeVar to drop off LaMelo at the practice facility, and I want Jordan to call LeVar out and dog his ass, bruh. I want that clip on IG right now. That's what I need. Hey, let me know in the chat if you want to see that, because I definitely do, and I know you guys do. VH says MJ didn't want Melo playing for the Bulls. LOL. Maybe. But Jordan doesn't have a lot of great history with the draft. He was offered a very nice package for what was the Frank Kaminsky pick, because the Celtics wanted to draft Justice Winslow, and Jordan turned down a very good package with multiple draft picks to draft Frank Kaminsky, which obviously was not the right call, okay? And we know they drafted Michael Kidd-Gilchrist. It's a mess down there in Charlotte. But like I said, last season was a season of hope and opportunity for that franchise. So let's talk about the Chicago Bulls. What are they going to do with this number 4 pick? Jay Billis thinks the best player available right now is Tyrese Halliburton. The Bulls don't need a guard right now, which Tyrese is. I think they go ahead and they pick that kid from Israel, Avdia. Let's see. What? Patrick Williams. I would say this is the second upset of the draft. The first one was Edwards. That was a surprise. Here we have the Chicago Bulls taking Patrick Williams from Florida State. They left Advia. I guess they did not like him. They left other appealing guards, which, again, they didn't need. But are they better players than this kid, Patrick Williams? I think it's a fair question to ask. But, okay, are there any Bulls fans in the chat right now? What do you think about this pick? I'll be honest. I don't know a ton of Patrick Williams, so let me take a look here at his highlights, because the Bulls are a team that could potentially make the playoffs with the right situation. Who's their coach? Let me see. The Chicago Bulls coach. Chicago Bulls coach, Billy Donovan. That's right. So they got him from the Thunder. Okay. So with a coach like Billy Donovan, that team should be at the race for the 8th seed. They should. They shouldn't be on the bottom of the East. They should be no less than 10th place in the Eastern Conference. They really should. They should be within like 5-6 games of that 8th seed. And that's the bar for them. And that's what they're going to have to live up to. But here we see Patrick Williams. Okay. He looks like a wing guy. And I think they drafted this guy who looks like an athletic wing to kind of combat the other teams in the East who have wings, like the Milwaukee Bucks with Giannis Antetokounmpo, obviously, like the Boston Celtics with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, like the Miami Heat, who have a slew of guys on the perimeter that you need to keep in check. Jimmy Butler, Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, the list goes on and on. So I think that's why the Bulls went ahead here. It feels a need for them. They're the Bulls are interesting. They have a lot of good players. They have Lauri Markkanen, Wendell Carter Jr. They have Zach LaVine, Kobe White, Otto Porter. I mean, that's a lot of guys. So I think with them, it's just trying to find out who plays best with each other. Getting a new coach in there is going to help with the schemes, both on the defensive side of the floor and the offensive side. So, hey, I mean, we'll see how it works out. But I would say I think they left some better guys on the floor. I wonder what this means for Avdia. Is he going to end up dropping more and more as we get through in the draft? But maybe Cleveland will take him, because Cleveland could use a wing like him. They could. They don't need a guard. I think a guy in this draft who's really good is Killian Hayes. Kevin O'Connor of The Ringer has him number 1 on his draft board. Now, I don't know if that means if he would have drafted Killian Hayes number 1, regardless of what team he was running. All I know is he has him number 1 on his board as the best player. Killian Hayes, the kid who played in Germany. I think he grew up in France, but he's like American. His dad's from like New Jersey, I think. I think he could end up being this year's Donovan Mitchell, a guy that's like, hey, wait a minute, like maybe we should have drafted him top 5, top 3. I think that's a guy, but Cleveland doesn't need a guy like that, but maybe they just go with the best available option. It would be a very Cleveland pick if they picked Killian Hayes, because remember, like they picked Darius Garland and Colin Sexton. It was like, what are you guys doing? So they obviously don't need Killian Hayes or Tyrese Halliburton, but maybe they'll end up picking him. I don't know, but we'll see. They're on the clock with about a minute left. Matthew is asking Denny to the Cavs, please. Matthew, are you a Cavs fan? Is that who you want the Cavs to draft? Excuse me. I'm sorry, I'm trying to read like multiple things here. Jason Yee's also saying everyone's sleeping on Cole Anthony. Great point, Jason. That's another guy who I think could be this year's Donovan Mitchell, because Cole Anthony is usually the best guy on the court at anything he plays in. The Jordan Brand Classic, the Team USA stuff, the McDonald's All-American stuff. He's always usually the best player on the floor. He shows up with all these other guys. Edwards, all these guys are there. Cole Anthony's the standout guy. He had a really bad year in Carolina. Carolina just had a bad year in general. So, you're right, Jason. I think people are sleeping on Cole Anthony, but again, Cleveland doesn't need a guard. So I don't think they should draft him. I think they should go with Denny. I do. And I've been saying that for the past, I said that last time for the Chicago Bulls, and they didn't take him. So I wonder if he was working out bad or if he interviewed bad. But we heard that about LaMelo Ball as well. One thing I will say about this draft is these guys in the draft, these players, these kids, this is the most unique draft process ever, right? So it's hard on them. So I feel like the bad interviews and the bad workouts, it's a little unfair because of the circumstances with COVID. Everything looks bad, and interviews over Zoom are just different from when you're interviewing them face to face, which obviously these teams could not do this time around. So I didn't buy much stock into, this guy's interviewing bad or this guy's workout wasn't that impressive because of the circumstances. So I will say that. So I don't think we're going to see guys dropping that far just because of the mystery that COVID brings. And that was one thing I wanted to talk about with LaMelo. The last thing Melo needed was more mystery, right? And COVID, unfortunately, brought more mystery to his, projections as an NBA player. The Tom Brady 22 saying Okoro at number 5. I think that's also a very good pick for the Cavs. I think you're right there, Tom Brady. Sharp Young saying Obi Toppin, number 5. Maybe he kind of plays the same position as Kevin Love, so I don't know. I think Isaac Okoro would be an appealing pick here for the Cleveland Cavaliers. But I just hope they don't pick a guard. They don't need that. If they're going to because if they pick a guard, they're basically telling Colin Sexton and Darius Garland, like, we don't really believe in you that much. We like you, but we had to pick up this other guard. So let's see what Cleveland does here. I believe Stern is going to be walking up. Why are they showing? Oh, okay. They showed Isaac Okoro. I was like, did we miss something? Did the Cavs pick him during the commercial break? I don't know. But you're right. I do think... why is Cole Anthony not being talked about more? That is weird. That's weird. Everyone's sleeping on Jaren Ramos. I would be like the oldest draft pick ever. Okay, here comes the Cavs. Isaac Okoro. Who called it? Who called Isaac Okoro? Let's see here. The Tom Brady 22. Shout out to the Tom Brady 22 for picking Isaac Okoro. Now, he's a guard, but he's kind of a bigger guard, right? How big is Isaac Okoro? He's 6'6". Okay, so For the Cavs, they have Kevin Porter Jr., right? Let me look up the Cavs roster. We'll look it up together. All right, here we go. So at guard, we have Dellavedova, Dante Exum, Darius Garland, Matt Mooney, Kevin Porter Jr., and Dillian Windler. So I think they're good at the point guard position, but the 2 guard could use some depth. So they're getting that here with Isaac Okoro. You're seeing here on the highlights, he has a pretty good defensive motor. Oh my God, he just absolutely worked that paint right there. Not just once, but twice. He's an explosive athlete. Jay Billis is saying, the question is there enough playmaking on the Cleveland Cavaliers for Isaac Okoro's skills to really be shined? That's the thing about these athletic guys. They need playmakers on their team to make plays for them. And Isaac Okoro isn't a playmaker, so it'll be interesting to see how the fit is. I think Cleveland is one of the most depressing situations right now in the league. I mean, if you're a Cavs fan, are you excited for this season? I mean, probably not. You're probably sitting there being like, we're going to suck. We're going to get another lottery pick, probably top 5. And I don't see any of these guys really being stars. And Kevin Love's out there, wasting years on his career on a team that's not going to make the playoffs. So, yeah. All right, number 6, Atlanta. Now, here's the thing. The Boston Celtics wanted to get into the top 3 really bad. They obviously didn't get it. I don't know who they wanted to pick top 3. Maybe it was James Wiseman. Maybe it was LaMelo Ball. I don't know. But I also know that they're okay with getting rid of Gordon Hayward, who the Atlanta Hawks want to get rid or want to obtain. So will we see a deal here with the Boston Celtics trading for this number 6 pick and maybe drafting, I don't know, Denny Advia? Who knows? But Tom Brady says Okongwu. That's another mouthful, going number 6. Now, Tom Brady, 22. He got the last pick right. So let's see if he could keep this streak alive here. Because Jeff Trinidad says Atlanta's going to take Avdia. Hopefully I'll say that right. Kyle Ling says Okongwu or Toppin is okay. Interesting. Okay, so you think Obi Toppin's going to go in the top. Let me see, actually. I need the draft order up right now. All right. So after Atlanta, we got the Pistons. Then it's the Knicks. I think the Knicks should take Killian Hayes. I think that would be very nice. Then the Wizards, then the Suns, then the Spurs, then the Kings, then the Pelicans, and then the Celtics. So the Celtics do have a lottery pick. It's 14th. Unfortunately, it was the Memphis lottery pick, and Memphis barely made the playoffs. Sharp is saying OB number 6. Ronaldo says Twitter has all these reports. I don't know how to say this. Aryaropoulos Thanos says Atlanta is taking Halliburton. That would be an interesting fit next to Trae Young because Halliburton is a little longer. I think Atlanta probably wanted a guy like Okoro or Okongwu to give them defense. Because we know Trae Young is, what's the word I'm looking for? He's limited on that side of the floor. Jeff says if Boston going to go up, they will pick Okongwu. Okay, I like that. We'll wait and see and see what happens. Right now, Jay Billis's best available is Halliburton, Hayes, Toppin, Devin Vassell. Oh, no, not Hayes. Killian Hayes, then Okongwu. Okay, interesting. How tall is Okongwu? Okongwu is 6'9". Yeah, that's pretty nice. He's a center at 6'9", though. Interesting. I don't know. Because the Hawks have Clint Capella, right? Is that Okongwu right there? Larry Nance tweeted, Okoro, let's get ready to play some defense. Yeah, I mean, the Cavs need defense because they can't score a lot. If the Cavs are going to be playing and trying to score 110 points to beat a team, that's not going to happen. They just don't have that kind of offense. Ricky, Okoro was drafted by the Cavaliers. David says he's 6'9" with a 7'1" wingspan, so he has a large wingspan. Okay. Let me take a sip of the water here. So Jay Billis is agreeing that Okongwu is probably the right pick here for the Atlanta Hawks. He could play with Clint Capella. So yeah, I think you guys are right. I think Okongwu is probably going to go number 6. I think the Knicks, they hope Killian Hayes is sitting there for them at number 8 because I think that would be a very, very good pick. Or maybe even bring the hometown kid Cole Anthony. And then you could have Cole Anthony and RJ Barrett, Duke, North Carolina. That would be fun. All right, so the Hawks picked Onyeka Okongwu. I wonder what that name means. Oh, my God, he's getting emotional. The mom's getting emotional. Looks like his bro, his dad. You love to see it. I'm going to tear up. This is great to see. Group hug with the family. Tears. He's so happy. This is what it's about. I love the jacket, young man. Congratulations. You made it to the league. I wish nothing but the best for you guys. Oh, he played with LaMelo and Lonzo and LiAngelo. I didn't know this. Okay, I immediately have question marks about his defense because that team was a cheeser. That Chino Hills team, cheesed the hell out of other teams. I'm talking cherry picking at its finest, bro. Cherry picking. But Okongwu, I guess he played very well. He averaged like 16 points at USC with 8 rebounds, which is that's basically a 19 and 10 in NBA stats. Because, you know, there's just not as many counting stats in college. So they picked him, Okongwu. I'm excited for the Hawks because I like that team. I like Trae Young. What is that one kid's name? The shooter, the redhead. Oh, don't tell me. Don't tell me. His name is the shooter. Oh, I'm blanking out. What's his name? The redhead. Kevin Huerter. Is that his name? Kevin Huerter? That kid, I like him. I like DeAndre Hunter. I like the Clint Capella move. So I like that team. I really do. No, not Hunter. I think it's Kevin Huerter. Let me just make sure I got that right. The Atlanta Hawks roster. Let's see. Oh, I like John Collins as well. I really like John Collins. They have Scalabizzi. Oh, I also like Cam Reddish. I like Cam Reddish. They have just Jeff Teague. Yep, it is Kevin Huerter. Yep. All right. So David is saying Detroit needs that three-point shooter. I think Detroit takes Tyrese Halliburton here. I do. Let's take a look at the roster for Detroit. All right. So for the Pistons, here's their guard lineup. They have Jordan Bone, Langston Galloway, Luke Kennard, Brandon Knight, Jordan McRae, Zvi Mikhailuk, Derrick Rose, and Kyrie Thomas. So they could use a guard. They could go a lot of directions here. They could go with Killian Hayes. They could go with Cole Anthony. They could go with Tyrese Halliburton. I think they're going to go with whoever they like the most. Workouts, interviews, whatever. Whatever their scouts say is the best guard, that's who they're going to go with here. And I think if I had to guess, I think it is going to be Tyrese Halliburton. I think they're going to like his versatility, but I would not be shocked if they went with Cole Anthony or Killian Hayes here. But I know the New York Knicks probably want them to pick Halliburton so that the Knicks could pick between Anthony and Killian Hayes. But what do you guys think? Who do you guys think Detroit's going to pick here? Sharp is thinking that Detroit might trade their pick. I don't know. There hasn't been trades yet. Stop Xerox says the Knicks need Cole. I think that would be interesting. I personally like Killian Hayes more than Cole Anthony, but I think it makes a lot of sense to get Cole Anthony. He's the hometown kid, right? I think he's probably up to the task of playing for that franchise in that market. Diego says Pistons will choose Killian Hayes 100%. All right, Diego, if they don't pick him, what are you going to give us, man? 25 push-ups? Hey. Okay. I think Diego is a little ahead of me. He's watching on cable, so that's a little unfair. But good job, man. You got it correct. Killian Hayes to the Detroit Pistons. Now, I said it earlier in our draft. I really like this kid. I watched his tape. He has amazing footwork. He has very good passing instincts. He makes some very, very tough passes. Okay, and it's high-level things that he's doing out there on the basketball floor. So I really like this pick. The thing about him is I think he needs other players around him to make good on those passes. And I think, having Blake Griffin's going to help. They don't have, like, a ton of great shooters. I mean, they have Svi Mikhailuk and Luke Kennard can shoot the three. But other than that, they don't have, like, a lot of great cutters or anything like that for Killian Hayes to really hit on the baseline. As you're seeing here on the highlights, he has some pretty good in-between game. He has a three ball. It's not highly efficient, but it's just good enough where you have to guard him. But the thing I like about him, he has a lot of good step-back moves that remind me a lot of James Harden. He doesn't have the frame of James Harden. James Harden probably has one of the most unique frames for a two guard or even a point guard, whatever you want to call him. James Harden's really, really strong, really wide, and it makes it very easy for him to kind of bump off guys when he's doing his step back and create a ton of separation. So Killian Hayes has that footwork. He just doesn't have that frame. Can he shoot over those long guys in the NBA? Well, that setback's going to help him get that shot off, but can he make good on it? Who knows? So here we have the New York Knicks. We all know the New York Knicks are one of the most sorry franchises in the NBA for a number of reasons. They're a mess. They just got Tom Thibodeau as a coach who the jury's out on Tom Thibodeau. I think 5-6 years ago, he was a great coach, but times change. Can he change with the times? He didn't really seem to do so in Minnesota, even though reports leading up to him in Minnesota said that he hung out with the Warriors and the Rockets and he learned a lot. He seemed to kind of be stuck in his old ways there. So it'll be interesting to see if Thibodeau learned from his mistakes, mainly playing his young guys way too much and wearing them out. So let's see what the Knicks do here. Halliburton, which is Jay Billis's best player available right now, is still on the board. I would say if anyone's dropping, he's dropping maybe slightly a little bit. There was some talk about him in the top 5. Now we're sitting here number 8. I still think the Knicks should go with the guard here. Let me see their guard lineup because they have Frank Ntilikina, right? They have RJ Barrett, but he's a 2 guard, so that's fine, right? Okay, so they got RJ Barrett, Damian Dotson, Wayne Ellington, Jared Harper, Frank Ntilikina, Elfrid Payton, Theo Pinson, and Dennis Smith Jr. Okay, so obviously Dennis Smith Jr. is the guy is who would benefit the least from them taking a guard here. But I don't think they need a 2 guard because they have RJ Barrett, but their backup 2 guard situation isn't that good either. But are they really drafting a guy here to be a backup 2 guard? I don't think so. I think they're looking to get somebody who could start for them. And I think, with all due respect to Dennis Smith Jr., he may not be the best fit with RJ Barrett. I think Cole Anthony or Killian Hayes would have been a good pick, or Tyrese Halliburton would be a better fit with RJ Barrett than Dennis Smith Jr. I really do believe that, but we'll see what happens. Sharp saying Knicks got Obi. Really? They picked Obi Toppin. So you guys are a little ahead of here. I want to be honest with you guys. I don't want you guys to spoil it for me in the chat. I want you guys to let me experience this. So if you guys are ahead of me right now, I'd appreciate if you guys just held it until I reacted to the pick, because that's what this whole stream is about. It's about me reacting. But so you think they got Obi Toppin? Let's see. Obi Toppin, his player comp, I think, leading up to the draft was like kind of like Amari Stoudemire. So, but that's interesting that they pick Obi Toppin because they have Julius Randle. They also have what is that guy's name? I'm not seeing him here. They have Kevin Knox. Bobby Portis is who I was thinking of, but they also had that other guy, Maurice Harkless. I like him. Is he a free agent? Is that why I'm not seeing him on his roster? It was that one kid. What was his name? Mitchell Robinson or something like that. Yeah, Mitchell Robinson. He's really good. Okay, they picked Obi Toppin. Wow, he's probably stoked. He's going to be in New York. That's going to be a lot of fun. New York is a crazy, crazy city. There he's getting a little emotional. The Knicks, baby. Look at his... Is that his dad? His dad's got a nice suit on, man. Hey, they're swagging up in the Toppin household. Everyone's got swag there. All right, so let me take a look here. Oh, my God. Between the leg dunk. Oof. So, yeah, he's definitely Amari Stoudemire, which will be an interesting fit with Julius Randle. Are they saying that they like this kid better than Julius Randle potentially? I don't know. I know there were reports that the Warriors really liked Obi Toppin, but I think number 2 was a little too high for him with the other players there on the board like James Wiseman and LaMelo Ball. I think they probably would have took Obi Toppin over a guy like Anthony Edwards, but obviously that situation didn't present itself. But I feel for Julius Randle. So it looks like Obi Toppin's going to be, coming off the bench. And I'll say it once and I'll say it again. The league is at a premium with playmakers, right? That's what you need. And Obi Toppin at his position looks like he's a guy who needs to have plays be made for. Do they have those guys on the roster? Now check this out. Highest career field goal percentage by AP Player of the Year. Zion at 68%, incredible. Bill Walton 64 back in the 70s. Obi Toppin beat Lou Alcindor, aka Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. So he's highly efficient. I just don't know if they have playmakers for him, especially if he's coming off the bench and he's playing with the second unit. You know what I mean? He's not going to be playing a ton of minutes with RJ Barrett potentially. So that's one thing that, the coach there. Who's the coach for the Knicks? He's getting really emotional right now, though. He definitely looks more like his mom than his dad. I will just say that. The Knicks. Why did I look it up? I knew the Knicks got Thibodeau. Okay, so maybe he will play a lot with RJ Barrett if Thibodeau is going to play RJ Barrett 43 minutes a game. Matt says, Knicks really stack on young talent, but are all on same positions. That's why I think they are run poorly on management standpoint of view. Yeah, I agree with you, Matt. We all know the Knicks they're just a mess. And it starts with the owner. Unfortunately, the owner will never sell the Knicks. It's too valuable. But they need a culture change there. Maybe Thibodeau can bring that, but I got to be honest. The future isn't extremely bright for the Knicks. But I like RJ Barrett. I like Mitchell Robinson. I think Obi Toppin is an interesting prospect as well. So we'll see. But other than that, I mean, Dennis Smith Jr., I would be shocked. I would be almost shocked if he turned out to be like a starter on a playoff team. I would. No disrespect. I like his talent. It's just, I don't know if he's a winning basketball type of player. I like Bobby Portis. That's the thing. Where are they going to play this kid, Obi Toppin? Mitchell Robinson, Julius Randle, Bobby Portis. I mean, where are you going to play him? It's weird. He just promised us something. I wonder. Now, one thing about this draft is you obviously don't have the big celebration, right? Adam Silver was, before the draft, he was on TV. He said that, we owe these kids a big party. So we told them on a Zoom meeting that we're going to have a ball of some sort. And, we'll pay them back because obviously due to the circumstances, they can't have a big party. But Woj is on the screen, so Woj always says something important. Let's see. Okay. So Woj is saying that the Knicks really wanted Obi Toppin and they thought about drafting up for him, but they didn't. They wanted to trade the Cavs the number 5 pick to get him. I gotta say, Leon Rose, who's the new guy there running the basketball operations for the Knicks, good on you, dude. You got your guy and you didn't have to give anything up. That takes not just guts, it takes balls, and it takes brains. It takes brains to be like, I don't think our guy's going to be drafted by anyone before us, so we're just going to stand pat, and we're going to hold on to dear life, hoping that Obi Toppin falls to us, and he did. But if you're looking here, I mean, his highlights, very reminiscent of Amari Stoudemire. But the thing is, Amari Stoudemire was a number 1 draft pick, but in 2020, that type of player, it's just not a number 1 draft pick anymore. It's not. We're talking about either guards or wings and maybe the occasional 7-footer like we saw with DeAndre Ayton. But other than that, if you're like a power forward who doesn't have 3-ball range, you're not going to go number 1, and it's hard to even get to the top 3, really. Mets Q Life in the chat saying Toppin is the steal in the draft. So, Mets, you think that Toppin is this year's Donovan Mitchell? You think that he's, 3 months into the season, we're going to look at Obi Toppin and say, holy crap, we should have drafted this guy top 5, top 3. I hope you're right if you're a Knicks fan. You got the Wizards? Okay, so here we go. Avdia is getting drafted by the Washington Wizards, the nation's capital. So congratulations. He's rocking the bow tie. Clean look, but he's just rocking black and white. It's pretty simple, but he's got the bow tie, so shout out to them. Look at his mom. Look at his mom's hair. Woo! That is a lush head of hair. He looks pretty happy, though. So congratulations to him. Is he in Israel right now? So this is a guy who could potentially be the best basketball player from Israel. Right now, that crown is with Omri Caspi. So I got to be honest. The bar isn't that high. But, he's interesting. He's not the greatest shooter right now, but his mechanics are okay. He's a playmaker. He's a wing. He has good touch. He has good intuition and basketball IQ. And I think with Bradley Beal and John Wall, I think if you're a Wizards fan, you might be looking at this going, could we make the playoffs? Let's take a look at their roster. Apparently, Avdia speaks 2.5 languages. I don't know how that will help him. Bradley Beal, David Bertans. You have Thomas Bryant, Rui Hachimura. You got, Ish Smith, John Wall, Bradley Beal, Moritz Wagner, Admiral Schofield, probably the best name in the NBA, Jerian Grant, Troy Brown Jr., and that's about it for the list of notables. Oh, Jerome Robinson as well. Okay, so, yeah, he could slot right in there at the 3 guard. It doesn't look like they're stacked at that position right now. In fact, here's the 3 guards. David Bertans is listed as a 3 guard, which I don't think he is. I think he's a 4. Isaac Bonga, Troy Brown, and Jared Uthoff, whoever that is. So they needed a wing. So he could play the 2 or the 3. Let's see what Denny has to say, because he's an interesting prospect. I really want to hear what he has to say here. He's the highest ever drafted Israeli prospect. Wow, his English is really good. I don't know why I said that. I don't know why I was shocked. But I could not tell. Dude, I couldn't tell he's from Israel. Dude, this kid sounds like he's from America. He sounds like he's from America. Am I tripping or am I tripping? Sheldon says Amar Stoudemire is the best player out of Israel. Good one, Sheldon. I like that. Okay, some words you could tell he has an accent, but his English is killer. Seriously. Matt Cortez says, sheesh, realizing Cole Anthony as a backup point guard for CP3 would be a blessing for the Suns. Interesting. Don't they... Let me look up the Suns roster. All right. Phoenix Suns. Here's their backup point guard, Javon Carter and Cameron Payne. Who actually... There was once upon a time, I really liked Cameron Payne. I really did. But yeah, they could use a backup point guard. So Cole Anthony, you think here? You think Cole Anthony should be the pick here for the Suns? All right. I think Cole Anthony on the Suns. Let me see the draft order. Where do we want Cole Anthony to go? So here we got the Suns, the Spurs, the Kings, the Pelicans, and the Celtics left in the lottery. And then it's the Magic, Pistons, Wolves, Mavericks, Nets, Heat, Sixers, Nuggets, Knicks again, Pelicans, Thunder, Celtics, Jazz, OKC, the Raptors, Celtics, Mavericks, Hornets. Okay, so I think Cole Anthony, if I'm Cole Anthony, I obviously just want to get picked as fast as possible. That way I get more money. But if money wasn't an issue, which it probably isn't for him, I would probably want to go to... The Suns are pretty appealing, but the Spurs are also appealing as well, just so that I can learn from Pop. There's veteran leadership there. The Kings, I wouldn't want to go to the Kings because De'Aaron Fox. Love De'Aaron Fox, by the way. The Pelicans, that would be fun. He could play with Zion, but they have Lonzo. And then the Celtics have Kemba, so I don't think that's a good pick. So I think the Spurs or the Suns if I'm Cole Anthony. Sergio says, what do I think about the Patrick Williams pick? Yeah, I got to be honest with you. I wasn't a huge fan of the pick. That was one of the surprises of the draft. Him going to Chicago, I thought Avdia would have been interesting there with that kind of skill. But I think Patrick Williams is more of a Billy Donovan type player, you know, just kind of a grinder, you know what I mean? An athletic guy. So, I think that it might be a better fit than Avdia, but I think Avdia was the better player, if that makes any sense. Poppy, yes, LaMelo went to Charlotte. Who's asking? Yeah, Mets, I freaking love De'Aaron Fox. And I think if he was on the Lakers, which I made a video before the draft saying that they should draft De'Aaron Fox. Now, back then I was saying De'Aaron Fox because I heard someone say that and I said that. But whatever. De'Aaron Fox, I said the Lakers should have drafted him number 2 over Lonzo Ball, and everyone kind of gave me crap for it. But I think it's pretty clear that De'Aaron is a better player than Lonzo Ball. And I think that if he was on the Lakers, he would be an untouchable in the Anthony Davis draft or trade. I really do. But here's the Suns. Let's see what they who they pick. Wow, they picked a forward, Jalen Smith. Why? I gotta say, I'm a little shocked. Okay, so I don't like the Suns. I haven't liked anything they've done in the past. Now, they went undefeated in the bubble, which was very impressive. And Devin Booker, he got my check of approval during the bubble. Before, I had a lot of question marks. I was like, does he win? Does Devin Booker play, winning basketball? I had a lot of question marks on him. But he got my check of approval. And then the Chris Paul trade happened. And also, I didn't like that they drafted DeAndre Ayton. Like, draft Luka Doncic, dude. Draft Luka Doncic. You have Luka Doncic and Devin Booker. And that's a great 1-2 punch to go up against guys like Clay and Steph, CJ and Dame, all the two, Harden and Westbrook at the time. So I didn't like that they drafted Ayton. I didn't. So I really hated all the moves that the Suns have made. But then when they made the Chris Paul move, I was like, oh, hey, maybe they're turning a corner here. Maybe this is, good for them. And obviously, it's good for them. They're getting Chris Paul, and he's going to be great for that team. He's going to be great for DeAndre Ayton, and he's going to be extraordinary for Devin Booker. But this draft pick, wouldn't you want to get a two guard who could learn from Chris Paul, like a backup? Like, is Tyrese Halliburton still on the board? Like, what is going on? Like, that would have been interesting to have Tyrese Halliburton. But I will say they did draft Cam Johnson, which was everyone gave them crap for, but he actually turned out to be a pretty decent pick. So I will give props where props are due, but they should have freaking drafted Luka Doncic. They should have, but they didn't. So let's see what the Spurs do here. So I think the most Spursy pick right now would be Tyrese Halliburton. I just think that doesn't that just feel like the Spurs right there? Cole Anthony, it would be great for him to go to San Antonio. But look at this. Last time the Spurs didn't make the playoffs was 96-97. It's been that long. I don't even remember 96, 97. But that's when they got Tim Duncan, obviously. Now, I think Cole Anthony to the Spurs would be great for him. I just think the Spurs are probably going to lean towards Halliburton here. And I think some guys dropped in the draft, and I think the Spurs have a lot of flexibility, more than they were expecting at number 11. But check this out. Gas in 1997 was $1.97. Titanic released in 1997. Okay, I do remember 97 because I remember seeing Titanic in the theater. Tiger won his first major. Oh my God, young Tiger. He has hair. Cuba Gooding Jr. won the Oscar for Best Supporting Actor. Show me the money! Let's see. Let's see what the Spurs do. I do say I was a little surprised the Spurs didn't make the playoffs. I mean, you always got to count them in. That was a situation where I got to see it to believe it. Like, the Spurs not making the playoffs, that never happens, but it happened. But right there, Tyrese Halliburton, they look like they know something. Tyrese Halliburton looks like he knows that the Spurs are going to draft him, that they really liked him, and he looks like he likes the Spurs. So let's see. He doesn't look like a guy who's dropping in the draft and he's upset by it. So I like that. I like that out of him. It's not about the money for him. It's not about the prestige of being a higher draft pick. It's about which team do I want to go to? Which coach do I want to learn from? Which culture do I want to be a part of? So if I had to bet, Tyrese Halliburton's going right here to the San Antonio Spurs. Let's see. They only got 20 seconds left. So yeah, Sharp, I saw that. You're a Jazz fan, but you live in Washington? How is that possible? I guess Washington doesn't have a team, but you could be a Sonics or a OKC fan, or even like a Portland fan if you're up there in Washington. Kind of the same area, right? Okay. In Louisiana, gas is like $1.65. Is that true, King? I didn't know that. Yin Yang says Rockets fan in New York. Well, that sucks for Knicks fans or Knicks because they can't even get New York people to root for them. Oh, Sharp's parents grew up in Utah. I see. So this guy, this draft expert saying Devin Vassell potentially here to the Spurs. I don't know, man. I think Tyrese Halliburton. I know they got DeJounte Murray and they got some good guards, but, you know, I just think best player available at number 11, right? A guy who is projected to be potentially top 5, definitely top 10. He drops to you at 11. Like, pick him up. That's good. Take a gamble. Take a risk. Okay, come on. Time's up. Why is the Spurs getting an extra 25 seconds, bruh? Come on, where's Adam Silver, man? Trade, you say? Let's see. No trades, by the way, guys. Devin Vassell. Okay, wow. They looked a little shocked there. It looked like they weren't expecting that. Interesting. So they didn't take Halliburton, who I thought they were going to take. So I don't know much about Devin Vassell. They say he's a versatile two-way player at shooting guard. What does that mean for DeMar DeRozan? Does that mean anything for DeMar DeRozan? They also have Lonnie Walker Jr., who they like as well. So who knows? But there were some rumors about DeRozan going to the Lakers, right? So maybe the Spurs are looking to move him. But I don't know. I want to take a look at his highlights here. Hey, shout out to Kenny D, man. I appreciate the support, dog. Thanks for joining the stream. Right here, player comparison right here for Devin Vassell. The analytics love this guy, apparently. Low turnover rate, high block rate, high steal rate. Okay, interesting. This looks like a Moneyball pick. Well, when I say that, I mean a guy who makes more sense in the computer than on paper, right? He doesn't have the prestige of some of these other guys, but he all his stats and all his analytics and his statistics, you know, say that he's a great impact player. Okay, so he had some nice moves there. Here he is against Duke. Pull-up shot. That's a tough shot right there. Guy was in his face as well. He just ripped that guy totally, but the guy looked slow, to be honest. That was a slow crossover. Okay, well, there you go. Are there any Spurs fans in the chat right now? What do you guys think about this? Ethan says Halliburton to the Kings at 12. Yeah, let's see what the Kings do. Because the Kings have good guards. Let me look up the Kings roster. All right. The Kings got, for their guards, Kent Bazemore, Bogdan Bogdanovic, who's apparently being traded to the Bucks. However, there's a hiccup in the trade, but it'll probably get done. Corey Brewer, Yogi Ferrell, De'Aaron Fox, Kyle Guy. What a name. Buddy Hield, who probably is going to leave. Justin James, Daquan Jeffries, Corey Joseph. Okay, so they could use a guard here. And again, guards are at a premium in this league. So Ethan's saying Halliburton would be a good fit when they trade Hield eventually. Yeah, it's unfortunate what's happening to Hield. He doesn't get along with Luke Walton. He wants out of Sacramento. It's unfortunate. They just re-signed him. Am I not mistaken? Kyle Ling says, Aaron Nesmith is a great three-point shooter, so if the Kings trade Buddy Hield, they could pick Naismith. Okay, that's interesting. Halliburton's a good three-point shooter, too. His shot's kind of weird, but it goes in. Jonathan says the Bulls are his team. So, Jonathan, what did you think of that pick with Patrick Williams at number 4? Let us know in the chat. All right, here comes the Sacramento Kings. Okay, quick pick. There we go. Tyrese Halliburton, finally. All right, so he made it to the lottery. What a suit. Look at that guy. How do we feel about the suit? I don't like it. It looks like somebody's couch. It's not great. So interesting. Jay Williams just said, you don't know if De'Aaron Fox wants to be there long term. So drafting this guard gives them some insurance. That would be a bummer if De'Aaron Fox, if they let De'Aaron Fox go. I mean, he's so good. He's good. And I think it is a threat that he might want to leave. I do, because De'Aaron Fox is a winner. He wants to win, and he's going to get frustrated if the Kings don't turn things around. But here you're looking at highlights of Tyrese Halliburton. Very good playmaker, better than you'd think. He's got touch right here. His shot's kind of weird, but it freaking goes in. So it'll be interesting to see if that jump shot is replicable in the NBA. But he seems to have good touch, wiry frame, so he's going to be able to, reach with those arms. But he might get bumped by bigger, stronger guards at the next level. But if I had to grade this pick, I mean, I would go with like, I would go with a B-. There's question marks. But, this was a guy who was talked about maybe top 5. So they let him go. He's showing us a TikTok with his dad. I'm not on TikTok, so I can't relate. But, all right, so let's get through these next 2 picks, and then we'll end the stream for the lottery. I'm surprised that there's no trades. There hasn't been any trades. He's talking about his dad. So he's saying that his dad showed him a lot of clips of Magic Johnson, and you can kind of see that swagger from him with those kind of no-look passes and things like that. Now, I'm not saying he's as good as Magic Johnson by any means. I'm just saying you can see that that's who he watched growing up. So the Kings are happy here. This is their war room. Yeah, it looks like that Halliburton kind of fell to them, so they were happy with that. But look, the Kings front office is somewhat of a mess. So it'll be interesting to see if, the moves that they make forward, if they turn into, because I actually had them making it to not making it to the playoffs, but being a borderline playoff team. So we'll see. I was disappointed with their season. I really was. This guy's saying that Sacramento got a steal and the kid will be in the league for 15 years. So, yeah. He's saying that the Kings are the winners of the night so far. Man, I really think the Spurs should have drafted him. I really do. All right. The Pelicans. What do the Pelicans need, man? Okay, so they just got rid of Drew Holiday, right? They traded him to the Bucks, so they could have used a wing. Maybe they were hoping Halliburton was there. I think just take Cole Anthony, man. Just take him. Right? Best player available, backup point guard, scorer. He could end up being like a Lou Will. He could end up being an off-the-bench guy, a six-man who they could use. Just do it. Just do it. Yedon says, the Pelicans need Anthony Davis. Adriano says, Kira Lewis to the Pelicans. Trust me. Okay. All right, Pops is getting emotional. That's nice to see. I'm just taking a look at what Halliburton has to say here. They all say the same thing, right? I'm going to work real hard. I can't wait to win games, bring Sacramento back, yada, yada, yada. Look, I thought Sacramento was a potential playoff team last season. I like a lot of their guys, man, and I think the fit's pretty good too. Now, we have yet to see Marvin Bagley really, be healthy, so that's a question mark for them. But, De'Aaron Fox is great. And, I look at these other guards, right? I look at like a Ja Morant. I look at, like a Damian Lillard. I look at these guys and I go, De'Aaron Fox could guard those guys. He could. It's just he doesn't really have to guard them because his team is never in a position to win games against those guys. You know what I mean? So I really like it. Now, Zion Williamson, he averaged 22.5 a game in a limited amount of games, but that's still really impressive. So the Pelicans are a team that almost made the playoffs. Probably next year will be expected to make the playoffs, even though they got rid of Drew Holiday. So it looks like they're going with a younger core here. So there were some questions. Are they going to keep Drew and make a playoff run? Or are they going to go younger? It looks like they're going to go younger. I just say go ahead. RJ Hampton's also sitting there on the board as well. But anyways, I would like to see Cole Anthony at this spot. Matt says the Timberwolves are in talks with the Thunder to trade their 17th pick to OKC for Ricky Rubio and the 25th pick, and the 28th. So the Timberwolves want Ricky Rubio back? I don't know about that. So Aaron Nesmith is number 1 on Jay Billis's board, and then he has Cole Anthony. I don't know, man. I think people are sleeping on Cole Anthony. Matt Cortez says Thunder might end up with 0 players and 100 draft picks. Good one, Matt. Good one. But man, let's see what they do here. Sharp says Peyton Pritchard. Who's that? I don't even know who that is. Trey Jones is the best point guard in this draft. Just watch. Y'all got jokes. Y'all been on fire in the chat. All right, here comes the Pelicans pick. Adam Silver always looks like he's lost a little bit. Like, where am I? Kyra Lewis Jr. out of Alabama. Wow. Cole Anthony. Let's pull one out for Cole Anthony. He's dropping. Woo. All right, so Kyra Lewis Jr., excuse me. He's a point guard from Alabama. He's got elite speed, apparently. Let's take a look. I don't know a ton about this guy. Wow, that is elite speed. I really liked what I saw there. Yeah, he's fast. 4.3 seconds court to court or end to end. Ooh, this kid is fast. Giving me shades of De'Aaron Fox a little bit. I think he's obviously not as good as De'Aaron Fox, but that's the flavor I was getting from him. You called it, Adriano. Good pick. There's David Griffith, who's a great GM. He looks like he's very confident in the pick. So that's good news. All right, Cole Anthony, Boston Celtics. Now, it's interesting. The Celtics have that guy from Purdue. What's his name? Let me look him up. What is that guy's name? Because I really like him, and he's kind of like a Cole Anthony player. He doesn't have as good physicals. His name is... Did he get traded? No, Carson Edwards. That's who I'm thinking of. But he's like really small, and I think Cole Anthony's a little taller. How tall is Cole Anthony? Oh, we're seeing a 2K21 trailer. Man, I played 2K21 the other day. It was not good. Cole Anthony's 6'3". All right. So let's see if what the Celtics do here. Now, the Celtics don't need this pick, but they're probably going to keep it. They're probably going to stack their young talent. They could go with RJ Hampton. That's a name. They could go with Cole Anthony. Aaron Nesmith. Baby. I keep yawning. I'm sorry, guys. We'll see. But this is the last pick, and then we'll end the stream. But I wanna thank everyone for joining the stream. It's been a lot of fun. I wanted to do this stream for you guys because I love the draft. It's so fun. Mainly because the draft, no one knows what they're doing. No one knows who's gonna be good and who's not gonna be good. There's never a sure thing in the draft. Even Zion Williamson's not a sure thing. Now, in terms of production, he probably is, but longevity, how long is he going to stay healthy? We don't know. But, yeah, I mean, no one knows. The draft is one of the biggest gambles. That's what makes it so fun. We could sit here and say, I think this guy's going to be good. That guy's better than this guy. But, I mean, no one really knows, especially us. We don't know. The teams don't even know, and they get to interview and work out the guys, and they don't even know. So it is weird. But this is an awesome commercial. What is this commercial for? Some good editing. But are there any Celtic fans in the chat right now? Yeah, Yedon. There are some weird picks. I really am trying to still get over that Chicago Bulls pick. Like, that was just a weird one. Amber says Cole Anthony for the win. Clay Bucket says Aaron Nesmith to the Celtics. Okay. Dylan Garcia says, yeah, you're a Celtics fan. I think that's what you're saying. When the NBA needed to reopen safely, we were here. What hotel? Is this a hotel? Oh, Service Now. Okay. Man, I just want this pick to happen, man. They got a minute left. Cole Anthony got shut down by Trey Jones. When? First round picks for the Celtics have been money. Terry Rozier, Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, Jason Tatum. Yeah, they drafted well. And they've also got rid of some good players too. But the Celtics, yeah, they've been run very well the past, 10 years, really. Or really ever since they got KG. They've been run extremely well. They just there was a report that they want to get rid of Gordon Hayward, so maybe they're looking for a wing like Nesmith to fill in that void. I mean, it's not really a void. They're kind of logjam at that position, right? They have Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. But maybe, they get a younger guy on a cheaper contract and they can divert some of their money elsewhere, and they'll go with a guy like Nesmith. But I think the best player right now is Cole Anthony. So we'll see what they do. The clock just ran out on them. There's the War Room in Boston. Should we just go until Cole Anthony gets picked? Let's see. It looks like, yeah, they made their... What's going on here? Where's Adam? Bring Adam out. Again, please don't spoil it in the chat for me. I want to react to it. Okay, he said Aaron Nesmith. I was saying Nesmith. Tomato, right? I guess not. It's his name. I should say Nesmith, I guess is what his name is. Oh, the graphic's wrong on TV. He said the best available player is Nesmith, but the graphic has him number 2. I also like Tyrese Maxey. He's actually pretty good as well. Maybe they'll go with that guy, Tyrese Maxey. The Celtics. I don't know. Amber says, I'm surprised Cole Anthony wasn't the first pick. Oh, come on. You're trolling. All right, I'm not looking at the chat. Let's see. Man, these teams get like an extra minute, bro. It's crazy. Aaron Nesmith. Oh, here comes the emotions. Waterfalls. What a suit. He's going with the green plaid. Okay, he was a South Carolina Gatorade Player of the Year in 2017, 2018. Hey, congratulations, my guy. That looks like the same living room as some other guys. Are they just swapping them? Who knows? South Carolina roots. Okay, so Cole Anthony's dropping. Is he going to Orlando? Let me see the draft order. There's Orlando, Detroit, the Timberwolves, the Mavericks. I think the Mavericks could maybe use Cole Anthony. But, okay, well, Cole Anthony's dropping. That's pretty unfortunate. But this was a pretty interesting draft. I think, just to recap real quickly, I think LaMelo in Charlotte is going to be fun. I think he's going to have a lot of opportunities, but it may not be like the best opportunities, right? I really wanted to see him go to like either Chicago or the Warriors, but hey, at least he's there. We're going to have the LeVar Michael Jordan thing. That's going to be a lot of fun. I really like the Wiseman pick by the Warriors. It's going to be great to see him play with all those great playmakers. And I'm not very excited for Anthony Edwards in Minnesota. Not going to be tuning in on League Pass. Just doesn't really excite me. But I will be keeping my eye on Obi Toppin in New York. So overall, interesting draft. I think the anticipation of the draft was a lot more interesting than what actually happened. But we got some surprises. Patrick Williams, obviously the #1 overall pick, which was very weird. And yeah, Cole Anthony dropping. But hey, I want to appreciate you guys for joining the stream. I'm extremely hungry. I'm going to go grab a bite to eat. We'll see how the rest of this draft plays out, and maybe we could talk about it on Twitch or on Discord. Both the links in the description box below. Make sure you join the Discord community. It's great. We got basketball wallpapers. We got kicks of the days. We've got leaks. We got all kinds of stuff. So make sure you check that out. Josiah and the boys have been doing a great job running it. And make sure you follow Twitch whenever I hop on, play Call of Duty, whatever. Just have game night with the subs. Have a lot of fun. But I'll catch you guys in the next stream. It was great having you.